Hello everyone, and right here is where I hope to breed tens of thousands of shrimp this summer. I can't wait to get this started. Now you'll see here the tub's been up and cycling for almost a month now, making some progress. Got a little bit of greenness in there, which is what we're after, so we're not pulling out hair algae like crazy all summer. And it's good for the shrimp, some green walls, shrimp like that. So let's see what shrimp we're going to put out here and breed thousands of this summer. All right, so these are the ones we're going to be starting with. These 4 20-gallon long project tanks. So I think these tanks are going to be a little different than some of the others. This tank here has thousands, I don't know, several hundred little teeny tiny babies. So I think with this tank, we're going to sort out all the adults. All the good ones will go outside. All the bad ones will get called out. Now, these are the new ocean blues I just got. They've started breeding out. So when I got them, there was a bunch of buried ones, and they bred out, and then they didn't really do so good. The babies grew up. I think a lot of the babies made it. There's quite a few shrimp in here, and they did start breeding again here in the last few months. So there's lots of new little babies in here. So I think we got probably 50, 60, 70 adults. So we're going to do the same thing in here, pick out the adults. Now the yellow project tank here, the yellow goldenback, yellow 24K, whatever you prefer to call them. This tank will need a full and complete reset. And now, we didn't do these guys outside last year, so I'm excited to see how these guys do outside. The little red rutting hood shrimp and this tank, they were slow to breed out. I called them down probably too low in this tank. So this tank's a little bit behind some of the other ones, but there's still a lot, and I think we're going to do just the adults and let the babies grow up and sort them out. And on the ones where we're just sorting out the baby, or just picking out the adults and letting the babies grow up, we'll probably do another reset when we bring in the shrimp and pick out like the best 20 or 30 of the best ones that bred out outside and put them in the project tank for next year. But then on the yellow ones, where we have lots and lots of shrimp, we're just going to completely reset it, pick out the best 10, 15, 20, the very best ones to keep it going, and pick out all the rest of the best ones to go outside, and then the bad ones will be culled. All right. Well, let's start here with the Orangeies. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is get all this moss out of the way. And we'll clean up, sort through the moss, pick out the good and the bad moss. We got to get some good moss to put outside. And we're going to have some good moss to put back in here. And all the bad moss will just go in the trash. This will be exciting to see how many shrimp are in here. Well, there's even more shrimp in here than I thought. Lots of really good adults and almost countless little babies. So, like I said, good God, look at that. So, like I said, we're going to go through here and sort through all the adults. All the good adults will go outside. And we'll just let the little guys stay in here. And the bad ones that we see, we will pull out and put in the Skittles tank. So, I'll get on that now. Alright, progress report on where we're at now. We're getting, look at all these little juveniles. Now, I need to make sure I go through and make a conscious effort to get all the best adult males because the males are little and they don't stand out. So we gotta make sure we do that. I mean, there's so many shrimp in here. I still got quite a few adults still to pick through, but showing you where I'm at now. Here are the ones that are going outside. There's probably like at least 20 of them are buried. And I've made sure to get a handful of males. So we're still got some ways to go in this tank, but we're getting there. I already did put the moss I'm putting outside in the tub. And so this will be moss that goes back in the tank and moss that we end up putting in the moss pond. But getting there. Here we are, drip acclimate. The breeders to go for outside, Orangeies breeders for outside this year. Drip, drip. All right, let's get the very first shrimp outside this year. Exciting times. First tub, first shrimp, Orangeies. Let's do it. See that moss I put in there, just gonna let it float and do whatever it wants to do. If it wants to sink, it can sink. If it wants to float and go at the surface, it can do that. I don't care, it can do whatever it wants. Let's get all these shrimp in there. That little bit of green water is good. It'll keep the algae from getting out of hand, and if there's any ammonia, new cycled tub, that'll help a lot with that. And already making themselves at home, looking good. Let's see how many more we can get done today. All right, the second ones we're gonna do, here are the little red riding hoods. I had way more shrimp in here than I thought. And just as I suspected, there were lots and lots of babies in there. So I picked out all the best adults to put outside, and then we'll reset this tank again here later. See, I got a good amount of these guys. I kind of wasn't sure if I didn't. That's why I didn't have a tub of these guys last year. I wasn't think I really need a whole bunch of these, but the setup I had now, I couldn't keep up with stock on the website. There they were acclimating, and here we are gonna dump them in. These guys are so cool. It still amazes me that someone really lined the red really without the red on the tail. It's so cool. On this line. Hopefully they do good outside. Dump them in. Here we come. Oh! And there's still a bunch left in the bucket. Get the rest of those in the tub. He has real clingy. Seems like when you have a lot of shrimp like that in a bucket all at once, you end up with a bunch more clinging if there's not that many. Guess that makes sense. Alright, now that they're in here. Yeah, these guys are gonna do good, I think. I think they will do good. There's probably like 20, 30 buried ones. Probably 100 shrimp in total. Lots of saddled females. Made sure to get at least like 15, 20 males in this group. There's a couple buried ones right there in the frame. Alright, and now we have the ocean blue, blue ocean Neos, the super, super high grade dark blue shrimp. These are the newest line I got. So I just got these guys around Thanksgiving. So there's not a lot. They kind of struggled at first, but they've come along, and now they just now have hit the point where they really want to start booming. So I don't have thousands of shrimp of these guys like I do the other lines, so we're just going to put the adults outside, and not even all the adults. Now, however, I did end up getting almost all the buried females, so I think we ended up with about 25 going outside, but probably 15 of those are buried females. So I didn't want to risk losing them if something ended up going wrong outside, but you can see, look at all the little teeny tiny ones. And I still left probably a third of the adults in there. There's still some buried ones in there. So let this colony is really starting to boom, and we'll let that finish getting established. And here we are getting those. I think this will be the last tub I have time for today. They are acclimating. And I think tomorrow we will do the yellows because that tank needs a full reset. And then my wife is home from work here to assist me with the camera. So this makes things a lot easier trying to do this and film at the same time without dragging a tripod out in the yard. Yeah. We didn't use a whole bunch of these. We didn't put a whole lot out, but I still think we'll do pretty good. So we'll be back tomorrow for a yellow 24 karat gold, yellow golden back tank reset. Do good, little buddies. Do good. Make me a lot of shrimp this summer. Well, here we are the next day after I just got done shipping a whole bunch of shrimp out today. Had a real busy morning, so this is how I'll spend my afternoon. Look at all the little Red Riding Hoods after the reset. See the few adults I missed? There's just so many babies in there. And then here's what's left of the blue oceans after yesterday. And then look at all these little tiny baby Orangeies. They're still in here. We'll let these guys grow up and we'll sort through all these guys here late in the summer. That'll be a lot of fun. Alright, let's get it all taken out. First, we're going to take out the moss, and on this one, the first thing we're doing is picking out the very, very best ones that I see. Top non-buried females and 2 or 3 of the very best males. And after we get that done, now we're mass collecting. Scoop up as much shrimp as we can, and I put in my little sorting container. Big scoops of shrimp. A big net, the way I have these tanks situated, is a big pain in the butt. Get these shrimpies sorted. There's a lot of shrimp in there. A lot of shrimp. Here's the sorting container. So the ones I think or deem awesome go outside. And then I pick all the ones out of each batch that I can't live without. And then the rest just go in the Skittles tank. Most of them are just yellow shrimp without the golden back, really. And here we are outside acclimating. This tub, it has like a slow leak, but it only gets down so low. It don't get any lower than that. Now we are getting the last few shrimp. There are the keepers, the ones I deemed the best ones. And here's the tank. Let me tell you, this was a lot of work. this was difficult. These tanks are not easy to work on the way I have this rack set up. We got to put our Pleco buddies back in there. Look at this little runt. Long fin green dragon. And let's put him in there. And I don't know what was going on with these guys. There's like 3 or 4 of them. They're just like, oh, we're dead. Psych. I'm like, what is going on? There's like 3 of them just laying on the ground upside down. I was like, surely not. I just seen them. Then I touch them. Oh, don't touch me like that. You're scaring me, they say. And they freak out. And everything's fine. Here they are. Ooh, there are some pretty yellows and a nicely fresh reset tank. Hopefully this time next year we'll be doing the same thing. Sorting them out. Whatever this batch turns into. And then I ended up going all air power on these 4 tanks. I already had the 2 right ones. And I ended up converting the 2 left ones. That was an ordeal. Alright, we're ready to dump them in. So, this was a lot of work. So, after this, we will have 4 of the 12 tubs going with shrimp in them. They're all 12 going, cycled, ready to rock. But now we have 4 of them, a third of the way there. I have a busy rest of the week and a busy next week, that's for sure. We gotta get these last ones in there, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I'll keep you all updated on what's going on. And a lot of people say, how do you get all those shrimp? How do you get all those shrimp outside when I pull them out? Well, this is what goes into starting it. So if you made it this far, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.